What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cab show. Shout out to one of my favorite NBA players of all time, Derrick Rose. Shout out to Drose. Just has announced his retirement from the NBA. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? That's a huge question. A lot of people say no. Derrick Rose should not go into the Hall of Fame. You know, from the youngest MVP ever in the NBA to tearing his ACL to kind of just, be in a mediocre career after the injury. But I look at Derrick Rose. He's one of my favorite players of all time. And I'm putting Derrick Rose in the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's a number of reasons why I put Derrick Rose in the Hall of Fame. We look at Derrick Rose from the beginning, from Chicago, from Inglewood, from the hood of Chicago. You're not supposed to make it out. D. Rose said he himself said, I was not supposed to make it out of Inglewood. Everybody where I'm from doesn't make it out typically, but Derrick Rose was the chosen one. He made it out. Went to Memphis in college only 1 year. He lost in the championship game against Kansas, and I'll look at Derrick Rose, and I want to kind of criticize him in that game specifically. In the championship game, he missed a couple free throws late game where he really could have iced the game and won it. I mean, this is back in 2008, so this is years ago, but I just remember that game vividly, watching Derrick Rose as a young man. He was only 20, 21 at the time, missed a couple free throws. Then Mario Chalmers hits a three, I think, to tie it up or maybe to go up by one. They ended up winning the championship. They ended up losing to Kansas Jayhawks, which was crazy, right? But we look at Derrick Rose. There's a number of reasons why I think Derrick Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. He's the 2009 NBA Rookie of the Year. He's the NBA's youngest MVP ever. 22 years and 7 months. No one's ever done that. I mean, we look at Derrick Rose. Yes, LeBron could have won it that year in 2011, but we look at Derrick Rose, the body of work. I mean, nobody could really handle Derrick Rose in his prime. And we go back to his rookie season, right? Game one in a playoff game in Boston, game one, he drops 36 points and 11 assists in that game. Crazy. Tied the rookie record for most points in a playoff debut, and that was Derrick Rose. I mean, Derrick Rose gave problems to everybody, including Rajon Rondo, who a lot of people say Rondo is the future Hall of Famer, which I would agree. Rajon Rondo is a Hall of Famer in my book, for sure, but he cannot handle Derrick Rose. Nobody can hold Derrick Rose in Derrick Rose's prime before the injury. Now, after the injury, yes, I understand his career wasn't the same ever after the ACL injury, but we go to 2018 Halloween night. Derrick Rose on Minnesota drops a 50 ball on Halloween night. So, Derrick Rose, just a specimen, just a freak athlete that we've never really seen before. A lot of people want to say always compared to Russell Westbrook. I think really we look at Derrick Rose in his prime and look at Russell Westbrook in his prime, and we could kind of say, well, I'm still going to take Derrick Rose. Why? Because of the IQ of the game. Derrick Rose has better IQ than Russell Westbrook, and we could say they both are athletically the same, but I just think the IQ-wise is what separates Westbrook from a prime D. Rose. That's the difference there. Now, the shooting, I would say I would lean more towards Derrick Rose as well. We understand Russell Westbrook can't shoot a jumper to save his life. I mean, we go back to the 2012 NBA Finals. I mean, Westbrook was throwing up bricks after bricks that year, and they won game one. They won game one against LeBron and the Heat, and then the Heat go on to win 4 straight that year in 2012, which was crazy, right? But we look at Derrick Rose, man, he had game winners. I mean, there were so many games against LeBron and the Heat back then, and it was just crazy, even against the Cavs. I think this was 2015 where Derrick Rose hit a game winner on the Cleveland Cavaliers in Chicago. Then the very next game, LeBron James hits a game winner over Jimmy Butler, a.k.a. Jimmy Buckets. We can't make this up. It's crazy, right? But we look at Derrick Rose. He could never get over the hump against LeBron James and company. I mean, we could say that about my Indiana Pacers in 2012, 2013, 2014 time, where Indiana Pacers were stacked with talent. Roy Hibbert. They had Paul George. They had Lance Stevenson. The list goes on of the talent, David West, that the Pacers had, but they can never get over the hump. Why? Because you're playing against the GOAT, the greatest basketball player of all time. That's why. So I think, the Bulls, they had opportunities. They really did in the playoffs to beat the Miami Heat, especially in 2011, the year that Derrick Rose won the MVP, youngest ever. So, like, for me, man, it was just, I'm watching Derrick Rose was just insane, dude. It was like this guy's 6'2", and he's jumping out of the gym, jumping like LeBron, and he kind of reminded me like a mini version of LeBron, how gifted he was. His ability to get up and just dunk on people. Dunked on Greg Oden, even though Greg Oden's one of the most washed-up NBA players of all time. Dunked on him. I think Derrick Rose was a rookie then. You know, and that time was crazy. Derrick Rose just dunking on anybody and everybody. And we saw against the Miami Heat, the rivalries they had over the years. It was just great. But I think the city of Chicago should absolutely thank Derrick Rose from everything that Derrick Rose done for the Chicago, for the city, inner city Chicago, to give kids hope that don't start off great in life. That, hey, look at Derrick Rose. You know, Derrick Rose comes from the hood. He comes from Inglewood. He comes from very little, and he just rose from the concrete, man. So shout out to Derrick Rose, man. He's a winner in my book. I mean, he networked over $200 million in his NBA career. When we look at the Adidas deal, and I think he signed it in 2011, maybe even 2010, signed over 200 M's Adidas gave him. So, like, that was well-deserved. I mean, Derrick Rose, we look at his life. He's only 35 right now, just retired from the NBA. He's set for life. Like, he is set for life. Generational wealth. His family's family will be set. We're talking generations of wealth where if Derrick Rose is smart, which I do think he is, he's going to handle it right. And he doesn't have to work a day in his life now. He's only 35 years old, dude. Like, here in America, to retire at 35 is unheard of. Like, nobody typically does that. But Derrick Rose, he's an exception, man. He rose from the concrete, rose from the jungle, and he just rose up to be a sensation to the NBA. Not just the NBA, just a global sensation, dude. People love him everywhere. People love him out in Japan. Like, globally, people love Derrick Rose, and I think why people love Derrick Rose is because how humble Derrick Rose truly is. Derrick Rose never wanted to get into the spotlight. He never wanted to get in interviews. He didn't care about, social media, none of that. Derrick Rose was really about his craft and really helping the people around Derrick Rose, the people that associated with Derrick Rose, his family, his close friends. That's what Derrick Rose was about. He didn't care about fame. He didn't care about clout. Derrick Rose was just a winner, man. And like that's all he cared about was winning and just his family and friends, man. Like that's what I love about Derrick Rose. He's so humble. We're talking about Derrick Rose. He could have been an arrogant guy. He could have been like, I'm the best ever, this and that. But at the end of the day, man, Derrick Rose is a winner in my book, which is crazy to think that people will not put him in the Hall of Fame. Like, look where Derrick Rose started to where he ended up, dude. Like, it's insane to me. Over 12,000 points, 12,573 points in the NBA that Derrick Rose had. He had over 2,300 rebounds. He had 3,770 assists in his career. So, like, Derrick Rose was a sensation, dude. Now, obviously, we go back to 2012 where he tore his ACL against the Philadelphia 76ers. And really, we look at that matchup. Derrick Rose should have never even been in the game in that situation. We look at the head coach. I think it was Thibodeau. What a dummy. Like, you got the best, the MVP of the league, and he's still in this game, and you guys are up by 10-plus points. And I think it was the fourth quarter. Like, Derrick Rose should have never been in. That could have been completely avoided, but I truly believe that everything happens for a reason in life. So whether, you want to accept that or not, I just think that is true, man. I think God puts situations, people in your life to go through adversity, to build up, to never give up, man. And I just think Derrick Rose, man, I knew he was going to be special when I saw him in Memphis, playing at Memphis, playing in the championship game against Kansas, which they should have really got blown out. But Derrick Rose, just such an athlete, man, such a talent, where it's just like, man, this is amazing. Like, everything that Derrick Rose represents, I love it, dude. So for me, Derrick Rose is a Hall of Famer. I mean, one of the most sickest crossovers the league has ever seen, besides, Allen Iverson and Kyrie. But Derrick Rose had the ability to get to the cup whenever he wanted. Nobody could contain him. Now, LeBron, yes, he'd match up on LeBron sometimes, and that'd kind of be a mismatch, where I remember LeBron did lock Derrick Rose up in a playoff game. I think that was 2011. Maybe he gave him some fits, but overall, man, like, Derrick Rose was a problem for everybody. Like, even as a rookie, like the game I was talking about when he went into Boston game 1 as a rookie, playoff debut, dropped the double-double, 36 points on Rajon Rondo, on the Boston Celtics, who won the NBA championship a year prior to that. Like, that's crazy, dude. We're talking about Ray Allen here. We're talking about Kevin Garnett here. Yes, we're talking about washed up Paul Pierce, I get that, but dude, I'm telling you, the Boston Celtics were stacked. They were stacked, and they were going, like, really, they wanted to win 3 in a row. Even though they didn't even make it in 2009, they lost in 2010 to the Los Angeles Lakers. But the year before, in 2008, they beat the Lakers in the NBA Finals. So Derrick Rose, he's just, that's God-given ability, what Derrick Rose would do on the floor before his ACL injury. I mean, I think really what caught up with Derrick Rose was how he would land after his dunks. Like, it was crazy, bro. Like, a human should not be able to get up that high like Derrick Rose did. And Derrick Rose is what, 6'2", 6'3", maybe on a good day? Like, him to get up that high of a vertical, like, dude, like, you can't even practice that, dude. That's God-given ability, and that's God-given talent. And I just think over time, when Derrick Rose would land, he'd land awkwardly. And that's really what happened in the Philadelphia game. He just landed awkwardly and tore his ACL and really was never the same player ever since. And it's unfortunate the way it happened. And a lot of people want to badmouth Derrick Rose and say he's washed up. But, I mean, he made it to this point. I mean, he played so many years in the league, dude, over a decade in the NBA. Like, that is crazy, dude. He's a former number 1 overall pick in 2008. You know, NBA Rookie of the Year, the MVP, former NBA MVP, youngest to ever do it. Youngest ever. Nobody's ever done that before. So, shout out to Derrick Rose, bro. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Just this whole story, what happened, but a lot of big speculations of what if. What if Derrick Rose didn't get hurt? What if Derrick Rose just never got hurt? I think it would change, obviously, the whole dynamic of the NBA. I'm not trying to discredit any other particular player, especially Steph Curry, because Steph Curry was kind of around the same time as Derrick Rose. But I do, however, think Steph Curry would not be as big if Derrick Rose never got hurt. I'm not trying to take away what Steph has done for the NBA, the greatest shooter of all time. Steph's in my top 10 all-time greatest players ever. Steph Curry is. I just don't think Steph would be as big as he is right now if Derrick Rose never got hurt. We could have saw that matchup in the NBA Finals. We could have saw Golden State and the Chicago Bulls matched up in like 2015, 2016 time. Like, that's what really could have happened. But, you know, we could play this game all day, if, ands, or buts, but everything happens for a reason. There was a reason Derrick Rose got hurt. There was a reason that Thibodeau, what a dummy coach, had him in at that time. Like, that's just silly, dude. That could have been completely avoided. But I think eventually Derrick Rose, the injuries would have caught up to him, just the way he would play. Just he was too athletic for the small size body that Derrick Rose was. Like, dude, like, it's unreal that he could get up that high, dude. Like, nobody should be able to do that. Like, nobody should be able to jump as high as Derrick Rose for how tall he is, and he's not really that tall. And we could say his weakness was shooting threes, but he got better at that over time and just developed that and developed really good mid-range jumper as well. So Derrick Rose, he's a winner in my book. I don't think he will go in the Hall of Fame according to NBA terms, but overall, man, just some really good battles, really great memories, man. Like I said, the game winner against Cleveland, man, that was just epic. They picked Derrick Rose up. That was after the ACL injury. And, like, everybody loved Derrick Rose. Everybody still loves Derrick Rose in Chicago. Like, you'll never see people in Chicago booing Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose is the inspiration to the youth. He's the inspiration to the next generation coming up right now. So, like, I love Derrick Rose, man. Like, I have a Derrick Rose jersey. That's how much I love Derrick Rose. I just knew he'd be a superstar when I first saw him at Memphis, kind of the same time I saw Steph Curry play in college. So Derrick Rose and Steph Curry, I seen them play similar in college around the same time, and I knew those two men right there, Steph and Derrick Rose, were going to be great one day in college. And they were just pups then. They were puppies then. And right now they're big dogs. They're running shit right now. You know, shout out to Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. Like, that's insane. And we saw Derrick Rose, what he could do. Nobody could hold Derrick Rose. And Derrick Rose hit a game winner on Klay Thompson in Golden State years later. You know, I think it was like 2014, 2015. Hit a step-back game winner in Golden State. So there's some great clutch moments that Derrick Rose had, but the best moments that Derrick Rose will always have would obviously be his 2011 NBA MVP season and also the playoffs times. When he was battling against LeBron and D. Wade and Chris Bosh, how stacked they were, dude, and Derrick Rose would still put up points, would still be dunking on people that were way bigger than him. So, like, I love Derrick Rose. You know, my personal opinion, Derrick Rose should go in the Hall of Fame, man. He really should. It's amazing, man. Youngest MVP ever. Nothing but respect for Derrick Rose. And I could see Derrick Rose, going back to the league or doing something in that aspect. But I could also see Derrick Rose going completely in the other direction with his life and saying, you know what? I gave my life to basketball. I'm a multi-millionaire here in America. I beat the odds to where I came from. I'm going to do completely something different. Maybe Derrick Rose stays away from basketball and just does completely something different that nobody would think Derrick Rose would do. Like, Derrick Rose probably has many talents that the media does not know about, where Derrick Rose could just do something else. Like, I could see Derrick Rose doing completely something else besides basketball, dude. I really do. Maybe helping Chicago kids, something in that aspect. But Derrick Rose, man, he's just never been in the limelight type of guy. And that's another reason why people love Derrick Rose, because he was never craving that. He wasn't craving fame. He wasn't craving clout, dude. He was craving to win championships and to be the best player in the NBA. That's what Derrick Rose was craving, man. So, shout out to Derrick Rose. Nothing but respect. You heard it from Cap, no Cap. Derrick Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm telling you right now, take off Derrick Rose. It's the Cloud with Cap show. Let's